So this season's Premier League campaign has been extremely intriguing and exciting. Lots of surprises, drama, you know. Just look at the current winners of the League Cup 2025, Newcastle United. I'm sure most people didn't predict that Liverpool were going to lose that game against Newcastle in the final. Now, I, for one, I was very critical of Arsenal when they got knocked out by Newcastle. And I saw it as Arsenal's inconsistency. But then when you look at it over, the course of the campaign, you find out that Newcastle were actually a very strong side. And they deserve that League Cup. This is their first major domestic trophy in 70 years. They last won the FA Cup or any kind of domestic title in 1955. So that's 70 years. Look at the team. They actually have a very strong team. At the midfield, Guimaraes, the attack, Isak, everybody in the team is actually solid. And it's not like they were lucky. No, they were not lucky. They're actually a very strong side. So kudos to them. And they've been building over the years. And I also see them as very likely to qualify for the Champions League this season. Next season, Champions League, they'll finish. Even if they finish 5th, I think they'll still be qualified for the UEFA Champions League because of the new Champions League rules. So they look positive. They look like they're really advancing and doing well. So if they can hold on to their players, most especially Isak, then next season will also be another one they can go out and fight for something. Look at other teams. Manchester United, I don't know, replaced their manager this year, and I really can't say they've improved. But I will not dwell too much on Manchester United because I think there's been a lot of systemic issues with the club. But I think the season has not been great for them. And then Liverpool, I would say, we're ready this season. They've been huge beneficiaries of the lack of form of clubs like Manchester City and Arsenal's, I would say, lack of good fortune, because this was the season many people tipped Arsenal to be champions of the Premier League, and now they had a very rough start. 5 red cards so far, and most of those red cards have defined or determined the outcome of those games. Injuries to major players, even now they're still losing quite a number of players who are just injured for the rest of the season. Not even short spells. Martin Odegaard was out early in the season for a couple of months, and just key players and all of that stuff. But I think for Arsenal, they still have a chance to turn this season around. They're still in the Champions League, and what that means is that they have a chance. At this stage, they're 5 games away from winning their first UEFA Champions League trophy. If they achieve that, you could argue that this is their best season ever. You can compare it with seasons where they were invincible and when they won the double under Arsene Wenger. But if Mikel Arteta ends up winning Champions League, which is still very possible, then you can argue that this will be probably one of their best seasons ever, just because of what the Champions League stands for. It's probably the biggest trophy in club football in the world. So for me, Arsenal have a chance to redeem their season. Most fans and supporters are really gutted by how the season has gone so far, but I think that there might be something in the works for Arsenal this year if they can just sustain their campaign in the Champions League. Now they have a big hurdle against Real Madrid in the quarterfinals. For me, Real Madrid are favourites, but I think it's still possible for Arsenal to go through. They have a very solid defense. The midfield is decent, and their attack is a bit short. But with Bukayo Saka back, they might be able to give Real Madrid a good time. So if they get past Real Madrid, I don't see anything stopping them from going all the way. But then again, you just have to keep fingers crossed. Chelsea, I would say Chelsea have had a rough season too. This was the year I thought they would start to reap some of the benefits of all the huge investments they made in the squad, but it's not happening so far. Nottingham Forest have been a huge surprise this year. I'm sure nobody expected them to be in the top 3 at this stage. But yeah. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, particularly about Arsenal. do you think they can win the Champions League this year? And if they end up winning the Champions League, do you think it will become or stand out as Arsenal's best ever league campaign, just because of what it represents? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like and share, and I'll see you on the next one.